Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am scrapbooking this one photo from when I went to Minneapolis for Junkie Fest 2018. It is the photo of the iconic cherry on the edge of the spoon, so let's see what I can do. Decided to go ahead and get my For the Love of Homemade Kits kit, and I just went ahead and went at it. Now this layout, there's not a lot to it. There's not a whole lot of embellishing, a whole lot of layers, but I really feel like the products that I used really just give it the pizzazz. So even though the layout is very flat, there's not a lot to it technique-wise. I'm happy with it and I love the way it turned out. And I really think that it shows that you can just use a couple of products and you don't have to be a maniac with your products to have something that turns out really cool. So I am pulling things out and just trying to figure out like what I'm going to use. Even though I have this mini kit, it was almost like I went shopping in the kit for what I wanted to use for this layout. And that's okay. I'm using this black and white polka dot from, what is that place called? Gossamer Blue, who is no longer in business. Now, I was thinking about going ahead and using this pre-made photo mat and using the entire photo mat for it. But ultimately, I decided that it was a little bit too thick of a black border. And this is what happens to my red ATG on the regular, you guys. Like, it flips over on itself and it just messes itself up, and it's super frustrating. It just really is super frustrating because it never happens in the pink ATG. It's only in the red one. No idea. I was actually thinking of titling this You and Me and the Spoon, but the You and Me does not make it on. The title of the layout does end up being And the Spoon, but, you know, You and Me doesn't make it on. I have trimmed down this vellum paper with the gold stars, and I am definitely not extending the paper throughout the entire layout. I don't want to cover up this gorgeous vellum with the triangle paper here. And even though I love the triangle paper, it's also hexagon paper, if you look at it that way. Even though I love that paper, like I don't want to cover up the stars. Like, I don't want it. I do struggle a little bit with the stickers and what I want to do, just because there's a lot going on already in this layout. The background, which is the black dots on the white, is a lot. It is very tiny dots, but they're very geometric. They're very like grid based, and it's a lot. The gold stars, that's a lot of gold stars. And of course the pattern paper is a lot. Like, there is already a lot going on this page, even though it's very flat. I decided to use the Wild and Free chipboard because the ampersand really matched the ampersand here on the wood veneer chip, and I just really thought that that was awesome. I pulled off the spring banner here and just placed it at the bottom of the photo, and I didn't pop it up. One thing I normally do if I have banners like this is I take a foam square and pop up some of the banners, but this time I didn't. I just felt like I didn't want to add too much because, like I said, even though the layout doesn't have a lot on it, it feels like a lot to me. I mess around with these little tags. I'm trying to figure out if I want to really like embellish up the top of this photo, and I ultimately decide I don't. So the tags do go back on the sticker sheet. And that's okay, you guys. Like, don't feel like if you've pulled something off a sticker sheet that it has to go on the page. You can put it back. Like, you definitely can put it back. No need to keep it there. So, like I said, I've got this colorful thing going on here. And I'm just like, okay, let's just figure out the title because, you know, I'm having a little bit of a struggle trying to figure out what to embellish and what to add. Like I'm seriously having a little bit of a struggle. So I pull out the glitter thickers and I pull out enough letters for the word spoon. And like I said, something about and the spoon, you and me and the spoon is what is going through my head. Ultimately, like I said, it just goes to and the spoon. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to, you could read it as wild and free and the spoon, or you could just like read it however you want it. It doesn't matter to me how you read my titles, especially if I have multiple words on the layout. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm thinking one thing's in the title and you think something else is the title. Like, honestly, I don't care. Like, you can think whatever you want. You can think that the title is stupid. It really doesn't matter to me. And I know that probably sounds kind of like a bit of a jerk. But I like the layout and I don't mind not having a defined title. I also don't mind scrapbooking without a title. And I don't mind scrapbooking where there's so many words that you're not even sure what the title is. Like, it doesn't bother me. It's just however I'm feeling at the moment and however I want to scrapbook. So I pull off 2 of these stickers that say date and place, and I just layer them up over that colorful paper, and I layer it so that it touches some of the vellum as well. Now, I do want things touching the vellum and hanging over the vellum ever so slightly, because I don't want the vellum to feel disconnected from the rest of the page. So just little bits that are touching the vellum and touching other parts of the layout will just make it feel cohesive to me and not like the star paper is too good to be touched. Does that make sense? Okay, so I am adding more stickers on. I do add in the hearts. I grab a little Zig photo signature pin, I think it's called. I've had it forever and a day. And then I just add the year, which is 2018, and the place, which is Minnesota. And I'm not putting a whole lot more journaling or a whole lot more information on the spoon because I do have an entire section of my 2018 albums that is from Junkie Fest. So it's going to be in that section. So I don't feel the need to write out everything and explain everything again because it's on multiple pages in the albums already. Now, I kind of felt like the page was just kind of like floating off into nothingness. There was really nothing containing it. So I decided, and there's my ATG being a butt. So I just grabbed my Scotch kind of dot runner thing and finish up the adhesive on there. And I really think that a black background just really contains your layout and it really puts a finished look on your layout. Anytime you have like a little cardstock border around the edge, I just kind of have that feeling. So I grabbed these Vicky Bouton thickers and I have a couple of, or not thickers, stickers, and I have a couple of puffy arrows that I place on the page. And then these little like puffy candy dots, I also just kind of splatter around the page a little bit, just bringing the colors together because there is a huge mix of colors on this layout. And I just want to make sure that the colors are kind of throughout the page because of the big black and white component here on the bottom of the page, like the background. So I'm adding the hearts in. I throw some hearts on top of the banner. I throw a heart over by the word spoon. And I try out a couple other little puffy bits that came in that little piece, but it really doesn't work. But I do have this gold and white kind of rice paper sticker. And this is actually from Paper House Productions, and it was in my Christmas journal December project. I call it a whole bunch of different things. My December album. And I just threw it into my regular scrapbooking because I figured it was some gold arrows, like I could use it anywhere. So I decided to basically cut it in half and place it on the very top of the layout and also the very bottom. Now I do try to bring in these black and white Scrap and Happy Studio epoxy flares. However, they just don't. Like I should have put them down on the page much sooner than the very end if I wanted them to work. So I do have some Heidi Swapp Color Shine that I had placed in my homemade kit, and I don't really shake it up a lot, so I do have oil halos on some of the splatters, but honestly, it doesn't bother me. It never bothered me originally when, you know, the whole thing happened. So there it is, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you again real soon for another video.